Hey guys, my name is Chris. I'm a great alcoholic.
Hey, Chris.
Excuse my voice and everything. My clean day is 5/10/2011, and my home group is Heavy Hitters. And so, first time doing this workshop is what is it? I got relapse is not required, right? And I'm not gonna do most of the talking. Dave, go introduce yourself, and I'm gonna follow his lead and everything. I'm talking as little as possible because I'm done. I'm fried, okay? With that, I give you Dave, guys.
Thanks, Chris. Chris is sick, so I appreciate him touching my schedule, and now I got to throw it out.
Give me some hand sanitizer. I can keep this on Dave, all right?
So, my name's Dave. I'm an alcoholic.
Hey.
My sobriety date is September 23rd, 1991. I've been to 47 out of the last 49 of these guys, and really glad to be here. I'm honored to be here. I've given like maybe 4 or 5, after hours in the past, couple decades. This is the first one they ever asked me to do a second time, so here we are. And can I get your guys' permission to not just do like a typical experience, strength, and hope, but do a little teaching? Is that cool? Okay. So, and also, can I ask like questions of you guys? The more participation we get, I think the better the meeting's going to be. Who here is court-ordered by their sponsor to be here? Anybody? All right. Who here has relapsed, and that's partly why you're here? So people here that have never relapsed? Okay. Relapse is you have a period.
AA or ever?
Let's go with ever. If you try to get sober and then ended up relapsing, I call that a relapse. Okay. So once again, who here has relapsed? Boom. All right. Who here has relapsed more than 3 times? 5 times? 10 times? All right. So we got plenty of seats, guys. This is a weird question. If you're driving a car, what do you do when you make a right turn? Show me how you make a right turn. All right, and then what do? You got to come all the way back. Otherwise, you're going to keep on making right turns. We're going to come back to that in a second. Who believes in the disease model? Who thinks what we got here is a disease? Who here thinks what we got here is a matter of not enough willpower? Anybody? Okay. I don't believe this about willpower. I think we men have a lot of discipline, and I think there's a point when our willpower just will not work against this, what I call a disease. The way I conceptualize this is I got this thing inside of me, a little beast, a little demon, some little devil, little troll. I got something inside of me that wants to get fed, and it's dark, and it's ugly, and it's the opposite of what I want from my life. It's my disease, and it talks to me, and it tries to get fed. I don't know if you guys can relate to that. All right. So relapse to me is if you're trying to get clean and sober, and you have a day or 3 days, and you go out and say fuck it and use, that's a relapse. The best kind of relapses only last a day. The worst kind lasts a couple decades. So what I want to do is I'm going to give you a visual here. I'm going to teach a little bit, and then I'm going to shut up, and Chris is going to share, and then we're just going to open it up for sharing. You guys are going to get a chance. So we have a mic, everything okay? So when it's time to these guys share, we're not going to pass the mic. Is that correct? Okay. Do you want me to bring it over here when I stand up? Please. All right. So I have a very expensive flip chart here. And these are steps. This has nothing to do with the 12 steps. This is an escalator. And it's going down. Who here remembers being a kid and trying to run up an escalator going down? A lot of fun, right? How do you do it? You run faster than the escalator is going down. So If this escalator is going down and I'm running up and I'm staying at the same speed as the escalator, I'm going to stay in one spot. If I'm running fast in the escalator, I'm going to go up. Oh, thank you. If I'm running faster than the escalator, I'm going to go up. If I'm running slower than the escalator, I'm going to go down. Some idiots turn around and start running down the escalator. All right? And that's those people that say, hell, enough about recovery. I'm just going for it. So this thing that's going down, this escalator, who thinks they know what this arrow is going down? What do you call that?
Relapse.
Relapse or,
Backsliding.
huh?
Backsliding.
Yeah, keep going. Anybody else? Bottom. This is the disease. This disease is pulling you down. Now, I have 3 lines here. This is death. I drew that myself. This is the relapse. And this is the top of the escalator where you could get off and relax, right? No, that was a trick question. You cannot get off the escalator and relax. Because if you could, we would have. Those of us have more than 10 years, raise your hand. Why are we here? Why don't you just coast? Because you can't. If you coast, the only direction you could coast is down. So we got to be constantly vigilant. We got to keep moving because this disease keeps on wanting to come down. All right? Now. Here I am. If I do not move my arms and my legs faster than the escalator, I'm going to be coming down. So this line here, remember, is relapse. So here, I have not relapsed in the sense I put a drug or alcohol in my body, but I'm in relapse. Any questions? Have I used? No, but I'm in relapse. Have I used? No, but I'm in relapse. Have I used? No, but I'm in relapse. And now I relapse. Does that make sense? So if I'm here and I'm doing this, I am in relapse. Any questions? That's really important. I haven't used. I may not even be close to using. But if I'm heading here, I'm in relapse. Now, I come to Rock Eagle. I talk to my sponsor. Boom. Now I'm going up here. All right? Is this too high tech? So now I'm going up here. And now I'm in recovery. So I think it's really simple. Am I going up and I'm in recovery, or am I going down, I'm in relapse? Now, I'm going to say maybe 3 or 4 really important things tonight. First one, I could be either in relapse or in recovery. I cannot be neutral. Remember I did the steering wheel before? Pretend you're going down a straightaway. I used to live in New Orleans. I went to New Orleans to get sober, by the way. I'm going down from Atlanta to New Orleans. Do you not have those straightaways that go for 10, 20 miles without one single, it's just totally straight. What do your hands do when you're in a car driving straight?
Teeter a little bit.
You teeter. You make constant minor correction. If you go like this, driving straight, you're going to go off the road. Constant minor. So if I ever ask you to ask yourself, are you in recovery and you're in relapse? And your answer is, I'm neutral. You're a lying sack of shit. You're never neutral. You're either going up or down. You got to be honest with yourself. Okay? So that's the first most important thing. You can never look in the mirror and say, I am just perfectly still. No, that's not how this thing works. It's either gaining on us or we're gaining on it. All right. I suggest you ask yourself one of these 3 questions, and they're all the same question. Am I moving down or up? Am I in relapse or am I in recovery? Second question. I'm about to make a decision. Should I go to this party or not? Should I date this woman or not? Should I take this job or not? Is this good for me or is this good for my disease? That's the second question. Is this good for me or is this good for my disease? Third question. Same question. Am I moving towards a drink or away from a drink? Am I moving towards a drug or away from a drug? And be honest with yourself, okay? Now, if I'm here and I do this, and I'm honest with myself, and I say, shit, I'm having a bad day, I'm having a bad week, and I call my sponsor, I go to a meeting, or I double up on my meetings, or I raise my hand in a meeting and say, I ain't doing well, or I call up a buddy, and I flip it, and I do this, congratulations. That's how you get days and days and weeks, and it becomes years and years. The problem is, if I'm here and I lie to myself and say I'm fine. You guys ever say that?
Yeah.
How you doing? I'm fine. I'm dying inside. I'm obsessively thinking about using. I really have my drug dealer's name tattooed on my brain and the phone number. I'm about to dial it, but I'm fine. And I'm fine. So my theory is when you're here and you get to here, let's say that's 6 inches. If I'm here and I go to here, let's say that's 6 inches, all right? To go from here to here and correct takes whatever, a little bit of effort. To go from here to here and then correct takes 1,000 times more effort. The lower down the scale you go, you can reverse it, but it's frickin' hard. So for example, in the history of Alcoholics Anonymous, people have said, screw recovery, because I'm not going to curse on this tape, right? Screw recovery, and I go to a liquor store and I buy my brand of alcohol, and I go home and I shut all the blinds because I don't want the neighbors to see this, and I pour the glass in and I hold it up to my lips, and at the very last second I say, you know what, I shouldn't do this. And I take the glass and I smash it in the sink and I dump the bottle out and I run to an AA meeting. That has happened like 14 times. The other 397 million times, the people just go ahead and drink. If you wait till you're down here, you're kind of in trouble. The metaphor for me is like a black hole. You know what a black hole is? The closer you get to it, the more it sucks matter in. The further away from it, the less pull it has on you. But if you ever watch these movies, the closer you get, you're screwed. So my whole talk today revolves around, if you're going to be here, if you're here and having a bad day, do something about it, because that's easy as hell. If you're here and you're not correcting yourself, you're heading for trouble. Because once you're down here, it's really hard to pull out of this nosedive. All right? Now, the other metaphor is being in the middle of the bed. You guys ever hear that? If I'm in the middle of the bed, I'm going to be okay. So if this is my bed and I'm here and I have a bad day or a bad night and I'm tossing and turning and I go like this, I'm going to be fine. If I'm having a bad dream and I go like this, I'm going to be fine. But if I'm not in the middle of the bed, if I'm here and I'm tossing and turning and I have a bad dream, I'll be fine if I turn this way. But if I go this way, I fall out of the bed. So I stay in the middle of bed, I'm going to be okay, which is the same thing I've been saying all along. Be in the middle of bed. Now, why is that hard for some people? Before I answer that, come up with your own answer and share it in a little bit. My answer is because we lie. We lie to each other and we lie to ourselves. When someone asks me, how am I doing? And I say, I'm fine. I usually believe it. Sometimes I know I'm lying, but usually I believe it. The very first person we lie to is ourselves. Okay? I guess I got a couple more little things, but I'm gonna cut it short. One of the most important things I want to say is this will be the second most important thing I say today. Second important point. Everything else is nonsense. The second thing I want to say that's important is, who here drank and did drugs for the first time with other people? Who here, for the very first time they ever do the mood-altering chemical, were totally by themselves? Totally by themselves. First time. Okay. Well, you guys are weird. First time I smoked weed, it was me and Tony. First time I drank, it was me and 17 of my closest friends before an 8th grade dance. I got a hard on dancing with Elsa Benedetti, but we won't talk about that. And Elsa, if you could hear this talk, first time I did coke, me and Dave and like 2 or 3 other guys. First time I did anything, it was with a group of people. For most people, it is a social activity. You ask a normal person, when was the last time you had a few drinks by yourself? And they're going to say, what are you talking about? Now, if I'm a normal person and I just drink socially, I'm not an alcoholic, once in a blue moon, I'll have a hard day at work and I'll come home on a Wednesday night and I'll pour myself a beer or a martini. I'll have 1 drink and that's it and I'm done. The other 99% of the time, I drink with others, okay? We start out here, and then once in a while we do something by ourselves. We come back here. And then we do something by ourselves, and we come back here. And we do something by ourselves, and next thing you know, we're by ourselves. And next thing you know, we start isolating. Next thing you know, we only use by ourselves because we don't want other people to see what we're doing. We don't want other people to know our truth. And for some of us, we don't want to share. I don't know about you guys. I didn't like sharing after a while. Here, mi casa, su casa. I got, let's all party. Here, no, Ralph, I don't have any, I don't know why you call, it's like I hang up and I go back to, I'm not sharing. And the more we isolate, the more sick we get in our disease. The flip side of that, the more we sit here at AA men's retreat and raise our hand and say, I've relapsed 10 times, the healthier we are. Because we get sick in private and we heal in public. All right? And I think that's really important. All right, I got some more stuff, but I'll just shut up. Chris.
Hey, man, my name's Chris. Real short. See, good analogy, brother. My experience with that is I can identify what you're talking about, but I can be specific about it. More like when I have a bad day, when now I'm the one who relapsed 12 or more times. I stopped counting up to 12. I've been in and out of the room over 12 times. And it was mostly because I wasn't honest with myself, as he said. Totally honest with myself that once I get some clean time, and it's always the same thing, when I get to going down spiral, I stop calling my sponsor, stop going to meetings. And this girl don't take up all my time. And I can remember one time I had my sponsor, Vic. I lied to Vic on the phone. I'm in Buckhead, going to see this girl. And Vic was passing by me, seeing me while I'm walking the road to her townhome. And he said, where are you now? I said, well, I'm at home right now. And he looking dead at me. He said, you are? I said, yeah. But I was headed to the girl. I was supposed to meet him at a meeting, but I changed my mind because I wanted to go see this girl. Right? Those things start happening. I wasn't calling him as much. I wasn't going to his meetings as I was. And slowly I was like, okay, I got this. Downhill spiral he was talking about. Taking my wheel back, right? And before I know it, I could only do one. Let me just try one. Let me do this for 20 right here. I can do that, right? Fuck, 20. I got $400 in my pocket. Let's burn this bitch out. Let's burn it down, right? I'm sorry. Let's burn it down, right? So every time after I came to it, like with the experience, it's not a theory anymore. The same similarities. Stop calling my sponsors. Stop going to meetings. Stop writing about it. Stop doing my journal. Stop working the steps. Stop doing everything that A gave me, right? And it's always in the same. The consequences always was the same. I relapsed. And the book's always talking about, my man said he drunk that, he went to that bar, he went on a trip and said, how did I get here? How did I get here again? The book's called it a peculiar mental twist. Damn. That's the alcoholism in me. What's my national anthem? Fuck it. Every time. My national anthem was fuck it. I'm tired of dealing with the pain, tired of dealing with my emotions. It was their fault. It's never my fault. It was their fault, your fault, government's fault, her fault. She wouldn't give me no, well, I want to get raw as I want to be here, but I can't. But the thing is, you see what I'm saying, right? That's my experience. So in order to stay from the relapse, life's gonna do what life's gonna do. No matter what. Life's not gonna conform to what Chris's will is. Not at all. I need to conform to what life's gonna give. You know what I'm saying? I gotta conform to what God got, nature God's plan for me. Because the more I resist and I try to fight against it, ooh, it's a battle. Not with you, but it's turning against it with you because I'm gonna react some type of way if you come at me wrong, if I feel like you came at me wrong. But it's more with myself. And I remember my second sponsor told me, get out of Chris's way and let Chris recover. I was my worst enemy. Battle myself. About outside extenuating circumstances that had nothing to do with me. I had no control over, right? And I can come up with all kinds of shit in my head without any substantial evidence. No evidence at all, but this motherfucker right here would come up with anything he wanted to. And see, this program has taught me a new way of thinking and behaving and a new attitude. So when life shows up, okay, I used to make that a big problem. Not just for a day, hell, maybe about a month. Don't let me get a resentment towards you. I ain't calling nobody. I ain't writing nothing down. I ain't praying to no damn God. I'm gonna try to get revenge. That was my thinking, my behavior, my attitude, But this program had me change my mind, my thinking, my behavior. To the point is, I don't know when the session left. I can't tell you the exact date. It's not about the drinking and drugs. It's about how I live my life today. And now I got some peace and some joy and some happiness. And if I feel uncomfortable too long, if it's an hour or two, I know it's deadly for me. This drunk right here. God called me a junkie one time. I got offended. My emotions got hurt. I got junkie. But I was a junkie. Based on what the street term is. Right? I was definitely. But the thing about it is that if I stay in that funk too long, it's uncomfortable. If I do something wrong, that consciousness of guilt and pain gets uncomfortable. What role do I play in it now? It's not about them. It's all about me all along. It's all been about me. It's all been about me. What am I going to do about it to get back in the middle? He said, in the middle of the bed, I got to get back in the middle of the road for me. Same thing. Every day, we're going to run into those circumstances. Every day is not going to be perfect. I'm going to tear up to the right or to the left. I'm always trying to get back in the middle of the road. If I really do an honest assessment of myself for that day, I do my inventory at the end of the day, hell, that was a good-ass day. I may have some bad spots in between, but honestly, overall, every day is a good day. I had them bad spots. Thinking about going to using? No. Got some time, and I love my damn life today. Hell, we're going back. I worked too hard. And damn sure I want to go back to that last result. My bottom was going to prison. Definitely want to do that again. So yeah. When someone say they relapse, I like to sit down and talk to them. I ask questions. Because I like to hear them say what I used to say, I don't know why I relapse. Yeah, I said the same thing. But see, somebody who had some time, who'd done it before, would sit down with me and had an objective view. The objective view would help me point out, just like in step 5, where the thinking part started first, then the action. It started showing itself. And my sponsor showed me that. And when I hear somebody say they relapse, I want to sit down and talk to them and say, let's talk it through. Let's see what happened. Like one guy, one of my sponsees, he had about 30 days clean, and he called me one day, he picked up some cognac. I said, oh, really? Well, he was calling me every day, everything was going good. I said, let's talk about it. He said, I said, so how was life at home? He said, you and the wife. I said, everything was good. Everything with the kids, good, yeah. The job, yeah, good. I said, so what was going on? He said, I don't know. I said, I do. He said, what? You were celebrating. It happens that way too. It ain't have to be bad, motherfucker. I've been there too. Everything was good. Every time we have to be honest with ourselves, man. We have to be totally honest with ourselves. Don't mind fuck ourselves, Don't do it. And if you've been in and out like I have, you know what I'm talking about when you say you mind fuck yourself. Okay, they don't know, but I know. But little Chris might know, but big Chris might not know. But so little Chris gonna take over the whole goddamn conversation and do it and say fuck it and do what he want to do. And big Chris don't do anything about helping. Don't even try to stop him. Because big Chris wanted to do it too. So if you've been in and out, you've been every time if you start the steps over after you relapse, you can pretty much understand what Dave was talking about, what I'm talking. I'm giving you some experience, my straight talk about. You can see the similarities. It's always the same. Stop calling a sponsor. Stop going to meetings. Stop making phone calls. Isolating, in other words. Stop taking my wheel over again. God ain't nowhere in the picture. And the books even talk about we pause. We agitated what? We pause. Yes, that pause is about inviting God in. If you had a door that cracked open just a little, sit down for a minute. But if that little Chris say F it, God can't even stop it. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
You didn't touch the mic, did you? So, the cliche is the two things that cause relapse are romance and finance. You guys have heard that, right?
Yeah.
A woman or a pocketbook or a wallet. I think the number one cause of relapse in my mind is sobriety. Sobriety is hard. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced the real shit of life. There's a guy here who just lost his sibling yesterday. Yeah. My sponsor was here for the second Rock Eagle. He's in his car driving to Florida because his mom may not make it. Now, my sponsor is 72 years old, and you can imagine how old his mom is, and that's not exactly a tragedy, but shit happens. Bob Earl, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him. He's an old speaker. He used to talk about, here's life. Takes place here. This is going to be really good recording. Here's life. Takes place here. And he wanted to be up here. And I related to that. If people... I'll stand up. Here's life. And I want to be up here. So what that means, if I'm going to a party and people are getting a little bit buzzed, I want to be this buzzed. But my version of that is if I wake up and I have to shower and shave and brush my teeth, I don't want to just do that. I want to be high while I do that. I want to have as much fun in the shower and my teeth brushing as possible. So no matter where everybody was, I wanted to be up here. And then Bob Earl says, but here's life. You have a good day, you have a bad day. Good hour, bad hour. Good year, bad year. And then he goes and he says this, because he was smart. Didn't die sober, by the way. Married like 27 times, by the way. But he was smart. And he said, this is how I wanted to live life. This is life. And he goes, now imagine you visit your friend and he's in an intensive care unit and he's all hooked up to monitors. When you walk in and he's in a coma, whatever, what do you want to see on the monitors? This or this? And I know that hit me because that's what I used to think this was living. No, that's flatlining. This is life, up and down. So that was very powerful for me. I could shut up and I could turn over to you guys, or I got one or two more things. More? Okay. So... What'd you say?
You turned it over?
This is a pitchfork. Here, sobriety. Do I have to separate you two? Here is sobriety. Everything starts and stops here. Now, who knows what I do for a living? Anybody? Okay. It's a secret. Don't tell anybody, but I'm a therapist. And I talk to men about unimportant stuff like feelings, grief, trauma, shame, stuff that we all love to talk about. So here is old stuff, okay? I'm going to make up stuff. You were 9 years old, your parents got divorced. You were 20 and the first woman you ever loved dumped you. That looks pretty typical, right? You had a career that you loved, you got fired, and you've been lost ever since. You lost your best friend, moved away from you, and never even say goodbye. There's old stuff we carry around that we have to heal from, okay? And then today, in 2026, we have stuff. I'm depressed. I'm anxious. I'm lonely. I'm filled with shame because I got arrested for shoplifting. Everybody has stuff going on today. Everybody has old stuff they're carrying around. And then there's this. I didn't mean to make it look like a person. So in AA, we read the promises. My promise is if you do this and stay in recovery, not just don't drink, don't do drugs, but get in recovery and actively work on what you need to be working on via the 12-step program, if you do this and stay here, all of this will resolve. If you do this and stay here, all of this will resolve. So if I lost my dad when I was 8 and I get sober and I stay sober and I work on my grief and loss over my dad, he's not going to magically show up. I don't mean resolve like my dad springs to life, but it resolves in the fact that I'm okay with losing my dad. If I have depression or anxiety, it doesn't mean it magically goes away, but I learn how to live in spite of a tendency towards depression or all this will get better and resolve. All this will get better and resolve if I do this. That's promise 1. Promise 2, if I can't stay sober, none of this shit will get better, and none of this shit will ever get better. And that's when I get in that cycle of relapse. Because my old stuff will kick my butt, today's stuff will kick my butt. Everything starts and stops here. If you don't believe me, have 2, 3, 4, 5 years of sobriety and look at yourself and tell me you're not doing better here and you're not doing better here. Because if you're not, you're doing something wrong. I did not get sober to be miserable. I got sober to have a good life, and it's been pretty much a good life. If it's not, I got to look in the mirror, get honest with myself. What am I not doing? Now, my first thought is my damn sponsor's fault. Then I realize it's probably not his fault. If I'm not having a good day or a good week, so be it. But I'm having month after month of not being okay in my own skin. I got to work on that. All right. So I put a lot of information in your heads, I hope. I have a handout, because I know many of you were thinking, God, I wish I could take this home with me. But yes, I have that, and they're $29 each. No, I'll give that out in a second. But for now, I'm going to turn the meeting over to you guys. I'll just keep this here, and it's your meeting. Who would like to share?
Thank you, Dave.
My name is Drew. I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Drew.
I think a lot of people relapse. In my experience, I haven't relapsed since I picked up my first white chip. But when I notice I'm trending downward towards a drink or a drug, I stopped doing the basics of recovery. I stopped calling 3+ alcoholics a day. I stopped reading the daily ponderables. I stopped on my knees and praying, or I stopped going to meetings, or it's an accumulation of those things. Usually I catch it before my crazy kicks all the way in. Usually my girlfriend will say something and it gets under my skin way more than usual, and I'm like, man, why am I running around the house just angry right now? And I'm like, well, probably because I'm waking up and I'm not reading, so I'm letting my alcoholism punch me in the face first thing in the morning. And what's crazy is I always think I don't have enough time to go to a meeting or work with a sponsee or something, but I find that if I put forth an effort, I always have time. And sometimes I won't want to go to a meeting because I have like dishes, and when I'm doing the stuff for recovery, all my stuff that I lack discipline on, like chores and things of that nature, it somehow just all magically gets done. I somehow always have 20 minutes to fold my laundry and put it up and go to a meeting, man. But when I'm putting that to the side and my crazy kicks in, I'm not doing that stuff anyway. So what's the point? So I definitely think just doing the basics of recovery, really the bare minimum. It's not hard. It's a whole lot easier than maintaining drug and alcohol addiction and trying to lie to everybody around you and muster up the funds to keep it going. I mean, it's all this thing really asks for. And when I'm doing it, I'm on fire. So thank you guys.
Thanks, Gary.
I'm an alcoholic. I don't know how to not relapse. That's why I came to this meeting. This is very, very beneficial to me. I know, like, when I'm on the escalator, I feel myself going down, and there's nothing that I can do to, like, keep myself from going down so much. Like, it's, like, when you break it down as simple as you just did, it's, like, very, it's like, how stupid can one person be, you know? It's like, it's such a simple freaking thing. Like, just be honest and open and, like, talk about what's going on in your life so you don't freaking pick up a drink and ruin your life and ruin the lives around you, you know? Yeah, I was just thinking about, like, the complete demoralization that I felt. And, like, incomprehensible demoralization is what they say in the book. And that's like, that's an understatement, you know? Like, I remember, like, countless times where I've relapsed, but, like, one actual relapse was the way I'll put it. Like, to me, a relapse, in my mind, was like actually being a part of the program, like, actively working all the steps, and then you still go out and pick up a drink. And to me, that's all happened to me once. I've gotten through the steps, and I'm sponsoring 5 guys. But I was not growing spiritually at all. I was going downhill quick. And I was putting all my interior problems and trying to fix other people's problems instead of putting myself first, which I kind of need to do sometimes. If I feel like I'm going down, I'm not spiritually fit enough to be freaking sponsoring 5 guys, you know? There's no way I was. And I had and when I first came back, they were like, everyone was asking me, like, oh, how did you relapse? I was like, oh, I don't know. And like, I knew exactly what I was doing. I was going out doing all kinds of terrible things still. You know, I was not practicing the principles at all. I was at first, which got me some kind of spiritual growth and, like, got me to a place where I could sponsor people and was, like, somewhat doing the deal. But then once I got there, I was like, oh shit, that guy did all this. I gave no credit to God. I gave no credit to the people around me. It was all me. The ego came back quick. I already feel my ego coming back right now. It's like, I'm trying to like take away that ego by, like, realizing none of this stuff happens without God, you know? And, like, nothing in my life happens without God's presence. And when I'm not connected with God, like, I'm not a happy camper, and I'm pretty miserable to be around. But right now, I feel pretty connected with God, you know? So, I can say today, like, right currently in this moment, I'm very, very, I feel God's presence, and I feel very confident I'm not going to have a drink before I lay my head on the pillow tonight, you know? But I don't know about tomorrow. And that's not like oh, be weary, I'm gonna go drink. It's just like I have to really do this thing one day at a time. Because I've tried it every which way, and, like, nothing I do works. Like, that's the main thing. Nothing I do works. But when I'm getting out of the way, or getting out of Chris's way, like Chris said, and just like Chris recovered, like, that's a great thing. Like, get out of my freaking way and let myself recover. You know, like, let God take over and, like, let the people give me advice, and then when I really don't feel like sharing, freaking share. So thanks for listening.
Thanks, man. Hold on 1 sec. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just want to say one thing, which is thank you for saying that. I just talked a lot. I didn't say God too many times or spirituality too many times. It is in my handout. When I say working the steps is the most important part of this program, I mean working the steps is the most important part of this program. And you can't work the steps alone. And what do the steps do? It's a pathway to lead us towards a more spiritual place. And I heard you say something about you were deceiving yourself about where you, that's why we need another human being, namely a sponsor, to say, hey, I'm thinking of doing X, Y, or Z. Do you think it's a good idea? And when they say absolutely not, then we have a choice, but we can't then look in the mirror and say, I don't know why I relapsed. It's because I chose to do it my way. The opposite of my way is getting out of my way. And that's what you're talking about. So thanks. All right. Go.
I'll go. Yeah. I'm Ben. I'm up. Yeah, thanks, guys. I really like the downwards escalator analogy. I also like what you had to say about, once you get to the bottom rung, it's pretty hard to turn things around. I found that to be true, in the several different relapses that I've had. Once I've put my keys in my ignition and I head towards the liquor store, I'm not going to drive past it. I'm going to turn in every single time. I think I might keep going to a meeting, but it just doesn't happen, at least in my experience. So I have to, try to stay somewhere in the middle of those steps heading up. I like what you said about if you're coasting, you're going downwards. And that's, also been true for me. And I think something that Chris said that really resonated was that, you can go out to celebrate or because your life has gotten better. A lot of times you start working the steps, you put a little bit of sobriety together, your life starts to get better. You don't feel physically as shit anymore. You got some money in your pocket. You look around, your life is a little bit better, and you start to think that I did this of my own volition. I'm the reason my life is getting better, and because I've, got some pressure off my back, I could probably go out and take a drink right now. My life wouldn't fall to shambles. And it's just a severe failure to recognize, your higher power that helped you get there, the other people in the rooms that helped you get there, the fact that you were sober is the only reason you are there at that point. And so I think that, not only working step one to remind yourself of that, and what it was like before and how powerless you were, but, staying close to the program and doing all the things that other people have talked about. And yeah, in my experience, as far down the road as you go, you're still the same distance from the dish, right? And, it gets worse every time, not better. So, thanks for letting me share.
Thank you.
My name's Steve. I'm an alcoholic and an addict. I think we heard earlier in today's speaker that the relapse happens well before the first drink or the first drug that we take after getting sober. And when I first came in these rooms, the number of relapses that I had were because I was full of crap, and I was able to lie and be deceitful, which is all I've done through my alcoholic addict life. And therefore, all those things that we talk about having a process that you follow that keeps you on the straight and narrow. The first thing, waking up, I read the Pundits at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning. And then I get on my knees and I pray. All of those things were things that I had put in place because my sponsor had suggested all of those good things for me. But no one was there to view it or to see if I had done it, right? And therefore, when I started thinking about going out, well before I actually went out, those things, if I think back at it and being honest about it, those things, one after the other, had stopped happening. In addition to going to meetings every day or calling my sponsor every day. But I could get away with it because I was sat there scratching my head with my wife saying, how did I go out? I don't know. In addition to the fact that, I used to go out to celebrate. We're having a baby. Oh, this is a good thing. But it never ends up being a good thing. Then someone gave me a really good suggestion that I still follow today. And that has in addition to everything else that I've done, and actually trying to be sober for myself and not for my wife, and not to get back in the house and not for my kids, and all the other reasons why I used to get sober in the past. In addition for getting sober for myself, what I've actually started to do is do my bed in the morning. Clean the area that I brush my teeth at in the morning, so that those, in addition to all the other daily routines that they go through, start to give people the ability to either call me out on my bullshit, because when they can see some of these things slipping, because I've asked for their help, they help me. And the last time that I did go out, my wife actually told me, she said, you know what? I could see it weeks before. But who the fuck, excuse me, who am I to tell you that you're not doing your bed in the morning, which tells me that you're actually slipping, because I go to Al-Anon and they tell you not to. We all heard about Al-Anon. So, that's what's helped me so far. Now, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I may pick up a drink or a drug tomorrow. I don't know. But right now, I've been able to stay sober using some of those simple tools. In addition to going to meetings, in addition to having a sponsor, working through the 12 steps, speaking to them, sponsoring people. Thanks for letting me share.
Thanks, man. Who's first?
I'm Fraser, recovering addict.
Hey, Fraser.
I'm just going to piggyback out a couple of things you guys said. I'm in a program called Like Michael, and I'm around like 12 or 14 guys. We stay in a house all together, and when I relapsed, I have relapsed about 4 or 5 times. So going to this program, our director, who actually is over in B, we have a meeting every morning, and he's very adamant about how we should work on our recovery. He tells us how we need to get us a sponsor. He tells us how we need to do the good steps, the 12 steps. We need to talk to people, dial the numbers, don't file them. He on us so hard, man. And then he's so hard and stern that he'll actually use his stuff to make you do what you got to do. And he said he only do it that way because he really cared about our addiction. So with that being said, throughout my time there, I learned that. I started reading and stuff, because that was my whole problem. I never knew this 12 steps. I never thought about reading no 12-step book. I didn't want to do it. I heard about it, but I said, what I need was a man to wrote that book. How he's gonna help me? But this time around, this man showed me that this book actually, I see now that this book actually working for me. I'm doing everything it's telling me to do. Acknowledge that I was perilous. I wasn't able to help myself. I realized that I'm a drug addict. I understood that that I had to have get a higher power, get sponsors, and do all these things. I learned that. So now I'm going through the program. Now that I be having other scenarios besides of my drug habit, I be having to deal with people getting upset because I do things the way he would tell me to do it, how he gets on us, and when I do it towards them, they get upset at me. But this is the steps. This is what teaches me how to live and how to become a better person. Like, to wash your dishes behind yourself. To clean the bathroom up behind yourself. So I hold account. I take accountability in doing their part. But I go back and let the boss man know that, hey, these guys ain't doing their job. I'm doing it after them. And they get mad at me and tell him that, I think I'm this and that, so, it kind of throws me a little bit when I'm dealing with other people, because I know they judge you and they talk about you when they're not where they need to be. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm in this program that I go through this every day. And it's kind of, I haven't shared that with my sponsor yet, but it's kind of throws me off, bro. You know, because I be feeling like, oh man, am I doing the right thing? You know what I mean? Just because they looking at me like, oh, he think he arrived. No, I'm doing what everything I'm supposed to do. So I'm cautious about the things I do now. So when y'all in error and I say something about it, then it's a problem. You see what I'm saying? So I go through that every day, man, at my place, and but they call me at the place dead AAS serious. They call me dead AAS serious. I'm dead serious about everything I do because I want to change. I want this thing to work this time. I'm tired of relapsing, and I got to find the solution, and I have today. And I think maybe if you can answer this question, do you think it's time for me to move on?
Oh man, I ain't touching that one with a 10-foot pole. I would listen to my sponsor and the head of my program and do what they tell you to do. And when I went to rehab against my will, by the way, because I did not have a problem, they used to encourage us to tattle on each other.
Right.
And when you grow up in the mean streets of Long Island suburbs like me, snitches get stitches, but I learned the hard way that if I don't tattle on one of my roommates for doing something wrong, I got in trouble. But listen, we tattle on other addicts when we're in a program like that because everybody's fucking up left and right. And the old way is you keep the secret. The new way of living is you say, hey, he broke curfew. Now, but I got to tattle on myself. I got to tattle on myself first. And that's, I said it before, I'll say it again. The first person we lie to is ourselves. And we got to call ourselves. You got to call your sponsor up and say, I've been obsessively thinking about blank. All right? I can't tell you whether it's time to leave or not, but I can tell you if you're labeled dead ass serious, keep it up. Because dead ass serious people tend not to relapse. It's the guys that are just there, just punching the clock that relapse. Let's move on. Talk to me or someone else.
Okay, cool.
My name's Kyle. I'm an alcoholic and an addict. Chris, Dave, thank you so much for your service this late at night, or it's kind of late at night. You've had me. It's late for me. I liked your little elevator, smiley face, frowny face guy. For me, my experience with relapsing or resuming my use, prior to coming into Alcoholics Anonymous and coming into recovery, I always picked up when I started to feel better. I would be ripping and running for a while, and I would roll with that until it stopped working or a bad enough consequence would come, or I'd feel like, shit, and, or just make a fool of myself, like do something, and I'd be like, okay, I really need to stop this. And like there would be some kind of intervention in my life, and I'd stop, and I would do okay for a little bit, but then like as physical sobriety went on, I started to feel better, and honestly, looking back, all the times that I picked up, there wasn't really even like an internal or external negative thing going on. I was actually feeling really good, and then I just went and I picked up, and then started the cycle all over again until it got to the point where I couldn't even stop. I literally could not leave it alone, no matter how great the necessity or the wish. And I didn't understand it. I didn't understand why I couldn't stop. I wanted to stop, but I couldn't, and AA taught me about the brain of an alcoholic like no one had ever taught me before. I mean, AA straight up said, I have no effective mental defense against the first drink. Like, I relate to the story of Fred in the big book where, his business deal went off good. He had no intention of drinking, not a cloud on the horizon. Yet the idea that going into the bar and picking up, having a cocktail with dinner would be a good idea. you know, and like that's how I relate to relapse. It's like it's not when things are going bad that I'm in trouble, it's when things are going good, because I don't have my weak human defenses up when things are going good. I'm just grateful that I got convinced that I need a power greater than myself in order to stay sober. I came in here and I wanted to live, and I was convinced that I was going to die. So I just did what y'all told me to do. I got a sponsor. I met with that sponsor on a regular basis. I went through the big book and I worked the steps. I did the inventory. I told all my secrets. I made all the amends I possibly could, you know, and then continue to do this stuff on a daily basis. And my experience has been, since I've come into AA, I've not picked up a drink or a drug. Now, I can honestly say I have not really slacked on the program since I came in here. I'm actually terrified of of what happens to people when you slack up on the program, because I see it a lot. I mean, I see people come in, I see people start to look better, they get some money in their pocket, you know, their family takes them back, and then they go out, you know, and like that terrifies me. And it's, you know, they didn't do the whole program. Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. Like, I have to do the whole deal. I can't just do the parts that I find convenient or that I think are going to work for me. Like, I have to do every single bit. And I'll just end with this, you know, it's like, I know if I continue to do this stuff every day, I'm pretty sure God will give me grace, but I have to do it every day. Like, I'm not cured of alcoholism. Like the story tonight, the speaker, he talks about, you know, alcoholism is not some little house cat that I can just pet and not worry about. It is a tiger waiting to get me and my whole family. You know, not just me, it's waiting to get me and my whole family. And, you know, I just have to be aware of that. But, you know, I'm just grateful that, you know, this program has enabled me to link up with a power that's greater than anything. And, you know, for that, I'm just grateful. So with that, I'll pass. Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, Gary, I'm not calling.
Hey, Gary.
Yeah. Go ahead, bro. We're not gonna fight over that one.
My name is Melvin Vladdy. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Dave. I definitely love the escalator, the whole escalator scenario. It makes it simple. What that made me, there's two things. One that made me think about 10, 12 months ago, you know, I started having conversations in my head, you know, telling me that, or I was telling myself that my home group, maybe I need a new home group. I got too much going on in life. I don't really need to work with these sponsees. Maybe I need to do. I started doing things, having conversations with myself to start pulling back from all the things that I was doing. That one got me here, and one's keeping me here. And thankfully, because I was sharing that with people that I was still connected with, and nobody really said it to me. We just had conversations, but I realized that, you know, what I basically was just peeling off, no reason. I'm setting myself up. And that the escalator is the perfect scenario for that, because if I'm not continuing to do these things I'm doing on a daily basis, I love that. And you know, the addiction's gonna put you down. And that scared me. That scared me because I had started having other thoughts in my head, and these little things, you know, just this stuff that I knew where I was gonna end up. And it was all logical to me in the beginning. The reasoning that I gave myself. And that ties in with the relapse part for me. Because like Chris, I stopped counting at 13 rehabs.
You stopped at 12. You stopped at 12.
Yeah, well, close to like Chris. He stopped at 12. That numbers were up there, double digits at least. You know, but the difference, what I've learned through this process for me, the difference for me, one, I came in, I got sponsors, right? And worked the steps and, you know, made meetings and all of that. But for me, it was I was just doing it. I still thought I had control. So I didn't even understand It wasn't that I was just lying to myself. I didn't even get that I was lying to myself. I knew that I was an addict. But that second part, with all the madness in front of me, I did not see that my life was completely unmanageable. I thought I could fix it. And I thought I didn't need your help. You're good. Yeah, you're sober. You got some stuff that I have. Let me pick this. Let me pick that. I didn't need your help. And it wasn't until the last time that I went through that I realized, dude, your track history told you that I couldn't do that myself. I couldn't just pick up the book and go through the steps. That I needed another guy to walk me through this process. And it wasn't until I did that that things started changing for me. And life didn't. That's another thing. I still fight with this a bit. Life is supposed to get magically better now. Life doesn't get better. That flatline, another great scenario. It doesn't get better. I just learned now how to deal with it. And if it gets overwhelming, I know how to reach out, or sometimes I do. But I know how to reach out, and I know what to do with it today, and I can get through it. And thank God, I think I'm in this deep enough that I have a fear of going back to where I was. And I want sobriety way more. But anyway, so I love that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gary.
Hey, Gary.
I appreciate that. Anyway, that's my favorite saying. I don't take the elevator, I took the steps. I say that to a lot of people. I was just sitting there thinking, right, like, somebody asked me the other day, man, why you go to those meetings? And I got really emotional. They would say, why you gotta always go to the fucking meetings? And I got really emotional about that. And I didn't say, if I don't go to meetings, you won't like me anymore. I said, look, let me tell you one motherfucking thing. I said, I don't care if I don't never see you again, I'm going to the meetings. I'm going to work with my sponsor. I'm going to work these steps. Because I know what it's like when I don't do it. See, the treatment houses, y'all say 12, he says 13. I can't even count many as I've been to and walk out. They're not doing it right and all that, we're going to do it my way. Every time, I ended up on the wrong end of the stick. See, today I found out through working this process with a sponsor, through working this step, that I had to actually internalize it. I just worked there. I had to internalize the principles behind the step. And every day, because I used to argue with my sponsor, he thought about, man, the steps don't work in everything in your life, man. Is you crazy? But I had to do some more living. And I found out that it works in everything in my life. I'm talking about everything. Surrender piece, sanity piece, the manageability, it works in everything. So I'm learning that, good time, bad time, I never want to be a flatline. I want to go up and down with life. And the most gangsterous thing I ever done in my life. And I used to think I was a gangster, but I found out I was a punk. The most gangsterous thing I ever did in my life was to do this. I promise you that. Because I've been through it. In sobriety. And I still didn't drink. I got to the other side. And I know some more coming. But what I appreciate is that I've been through something, so when some more come, I can stand tall. I say, I ain't got to drink over this. Plus, I got to come up with a hell of an excuse now. I think I ran out of it. I can't think of nothing. Makes me want to drink or use it. I used them all up. And my man, you keep doing what you're doing. You keep right on doing what you're doing. Or the hell with what they say, the hell with that. Well, it gets better. Go get eat.
All right. So, how about 2 more shares? Got 1. Hold on. Do I have a volunteer to close this out? Number 2. There's 1, 2. Okay, here we go.
I'm Michael, recovering addict.
Hey,
Michael. I have a sponsor that used to call me a celebratory addict. So if you change the colors, you know, the water myself. But you know, that's what I knew to do, and I had, you know, I continue to try to add an ED to an ING problem. This is not an arrive thing for me. So I'm really blessed. I thank God for persistence. At my age, to be in a position where I have a desperate spirit. I have never wanted, you know, I love when you say this is gangster, this shit hard, but it's so simple. I'm at a place right now where I'm just selfish enough and arrogant enough to think that there was another way I would have found it. God knows I spent many years trying to. And I know there is, but my higher power didn't have those ways for me. And I kept denying the fact that this is how we chose for Michael Green to get clean. And I didn't want to accept this because I thought you guys were crazy as hell for it. I thought you were cold. You were saying the same shit at the same time, holding that shit, and hugging. And the way I was raised, just old-fashioned religious type shit, I wanted somebody to lay hands on me and speak in tongues and things would be cool. So I continued to search that out. I really wanted that. Right now, for me, a brand new thing is happening. You see, I quit meeting my higher power every Sunday at church. I started meeting every morning on my knees. This contact that I have on a daily basis is making some enormous changes in my life. It's just amazing how I thought I knew this guy. I really did. I thought that a pair of Stacey Adams in a damn suit, I was the shit. And I was doing the church stuff and all that. And I'm not against church. I'm born again. I still do that. But the way that my higher power had for me to recover was you guys, these 12 steps. So I'm at a place right now where exactly what this book says, exactly what my sponsor says, I'm doing it that way. I just removed. I finally came to accept that my ideas were just not as bright as I thought. My way wasn't worth the shit I thought it was. For sure I did. I too, I'm a retired therapist. But I never dealt with addiction behavior counseling. I was a family and children counselor. So I thought I was helping people. Surely I'm not an addict. I'm doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that. A bunch of bullshit. But I'm at a place right now, finally, where I'm surrendered. I can honestly say, finally, you know, I finally surrendered. First step, I thought I had achieved because I knew how to say Jesus and God and all that and go to church. But finally, for real, yeah, I am powerless over this. I don't have any control. And my higher powers, for whatever reason, are not allowing me to experience it. So I came here from Salt Lake City and went to my wife's graveside. And she's only been dead a year and a half. Well, I had a mental meltdown. Well, my mental meltdown is epic. Go get high. And my sponsor called me. And I'm, by the grace of God, my God, I'm glad it did. So now I'm at a place where I'm going through what you're going through. So how do you be this guy you're serious, finally. You're doing all the right things, you're being accountable and showing accountability and all of this. And these other bunch of guys, you know, just not there and you can't, you know, all that. So I'm at a place right now where I have just, I'm sorry, I can't work. I don't have enough room on my plate. My shit is filling my plate up by itself. But I'm at a place where I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to apply, put this thing in action, quit playing with it. Hell, I'm old enough to damn quote it front to back, but I'm tired. See, I told God the other day, I said, you're not having an advantage on me. I'm tired. Okay, you know, I got 12 grandkids, 1 great grand. It's time to sit on the damn front porch and swing and watch them fuss and fight. I'm recovering from my grief. I can't do any of that. I don't get my shit together. You know, I'm just at a place, man, where I'm desperate as hell. I want this. Finally want this. I want this. You know, you guys are, I'm envious as hell and jealous of you. I'm tired of folks getting new cars and new houses and new jobs and shit, and I keep trying to rewrite the book. You know, they should have put this there. They should have put that there. But today, by the grace of God, man, one day at a time, you know, these promises are working. Things are happening in your life. So I want to thank you guys for your time. Thanks for you.
Thank you.
I'm Brad Alcoholic.
Right.
When I came out of treatment, the day I came out, I went to my first meeting with my sponsor. Keep it simple, stupid. Just sit here for a few meetings and get the feel of it. And then think of what I just told you. Keep it simple, stupid. He said a year from now you'll revisit that saying and you'll say it again. Because you'll be thinking, go this way or go that way. No, I can do it like this. I skip that step. Keep it simple, stupid. If you have a question about anything in life, go to page 112 and read the first 3 words and do what it says. Read this book. Never answer your needs in the first 164 pages of that book. And I tell my sponsees like that, and especially the ones that's in treatment or the halfway houses, you know, getting the paper signed, sit in the back of the room. So come in here and get involved, take advantage of what you're going through right now. And, you know, you're given a chance, maybe it's by the court or your family or whatever. You're given a chance, take advantage of it. And just keep it simple, stupid. It's just swap your ism for sobriety. Put into this what you put in getting tore up. And you'll come out and you can keep being a winner. You know, I'm a winner every day as long as I'm free. So far today, I believe I'm going to make that. And then whoever gets up earliest in the morning is going to be the one that has the most sobriety at the end of the day tomorrow. Thanks.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, before we close, anybody have a burning desire?
What is that?
If you're not going to share, if you don't share now, you can do something stupid. Anybody? All right. So let's close up by circling up without Chris in the circle.
You keep coming for me. You keep coming for me, Dave.
Hey, hold.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
I think you got ours.
That and that.
Mine, because mine picks up on our call.
Oh, hell no.
All right. Let's have a moment of silence for people that are still suffering inside, outside of these rooms. Father,
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Keep on back and work for your work.
there's handouts. Anybody wants any?
Good job, Dave.
You want to ride back to the room?
not